our final speaker this morning is Michael Weaver. Mr. Weaver is the Senior Director of Public Safety and Emergency Management Preparedness with IP Access International. His co-AM talk is titled Never Break Heart, Maintaining Your Mental Edge. Please welcome Mr. Weaver to the stage.
I was at a conference with a friend of mine. She's in dispatch, and she'd come out in one of the training sessions she went through. She had this face that I could tell something was wrong. And I went up to her and asked, "Hey, is everything okay?" She goes, "Yeah." We got to talk a little bit further. She said, "You know what, Michael, you can't unsee, you can't unhear." And I realized that she was dealing with some type of post-traumatic stress that she was dealing with, something that she saw or heard in that training session gave her a trigger moment. I didn't really appreciate it at the time until I experienced my own experience in post-traumatic stress. And we were visiting my wife's folks for the Christmas holiday, and it was cold, like today. Snowy, icy, Christmas holiday. They live in a beautiful place, pine trees. Dad had driven this road a million times, and we were heading out to visit my wife's brother. It was a long, icy drive, but we made the commitment to do it on our way there. You know, a Dodge Ram was driving a little bit too fast. It was negotiating a curve and slid out on the ice. My whole family was in the car: Dad, Mom, my wife, and my daughter, who was almost 2 years old at the time. We saw it sliding toward us, that fight or flight response hit. The brain does amazing things in fight or flight. The adrenaline rush, cortisol. The brain sends all these chemicals through your body, almost slows time. Some people say life flashes before their eyes. That's your brain dealing with that survival instinct. Dad drove off as far to the right side of the road as he possibly could. It was a snow embankment. There was nowhere to go. There was no fighting it. And there was no flying from it. This was going to happen. I woke up after this crash. That smell of the airbag dust will never get out of my head. It's a unique smell. The cabin of the Grand Cherokee shrunk. The dash didn't look right. Dad was hunched over the airbag. Everything was quiet. It was cold. Then the symphony happened. And I prefer to look at that day as the things that went right, not went wrong. Because when the first responders showed up, we were distracted from the vehicle. I was in the ambulance, on a board, neck brace, being transported to Mercy Medical. In my head, I was thinking, where's my family? We were all separated. They rolled us into the clinic, and you say bizarre things when you're dealing with trauma. I remember them rolling us in, and the doctor was checking my vitals. They're skimming up with the scissors. She's about to cut my clothes off and my boots. And I said, whoa, 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 hang on. I have my 5'11" boots on. They said, push down the side. You can zip them off, don't cut them. Just a silly thing to say during an accident. The doctor came up and said, your blood pressure's dropping. We're going to need you to take you into surgery. And I said, Doc, do I really need to get cut up? I really don't want to do that. He says, why don't you let me be the doctor and you be the patient, with a smile on his face. I wanted to be in control, and I wasn't. Going anesthesia, they're putting the mask on. I've already got the neck brace, and they're putting that mask on, and it's Pulls it in on you. I put my finger up like I'm going to get a filling at the dentist. Hang on, I really don't want my filling. And he's all like, this is happening. I'm not in control. I was out. Woke up, I found out that my wife and I had tried to cover my daughter. We folded over the child's car seat. Elliot, my beautiful daughter. Crushed my ribs. I had a chest tube in. They were draining fluid off my lungs. They removed 3 feet of intestine. I had 3/5 of my blood supply floating around in my abdomen. Later, I would learn from talking to the doctor. They said, Michael, you were lucky. You were really lucky. And I said, why? He said, time. If you hadn't have gotten the response that you did, you would have bled out. You don't know how lucky you were. I understand from this experience now that first responders, public safety professionals only sometimes hear half the story. And sometimes it's only the bad half. A helicopter pilot that tried to land to extract his flights out, he couldn't land because there was snow. He didn't know. Did they make it? EMS, the folks in the ambulance, right, the transports, they dropped us off. Did they make it? Firemen that cut us out, extracted us from the vehicle. Did they make it? I'm here to encourage you. Your jobs are so important. They really are. You are appreciated. Your jobs matter. You left a legacy for us. My daughter, who is just about 2 at the time, is now 13. I have another daughter who's 9. And that wouldn't be possible for the work that you all do in this room. It's so incredibly important. Post-traumatic stress is a big deal. I still deal with it, and it's been a while. It's so important for you to, if you feel you have it, talk to a friend, talk to a peer, talk to a professional if you need to. Talk to a total stranger. Talk to me after this conference. It's incredibly important. You are appreciated, and I want to let you know the other half of my story that you make a difference. Thank you so much for what you guys do, and thank you so much for coming to this conference.